with Mr. Solomon Agbo, who is the, beg your pardon now, who is the coordinator, United Alliance for Youths Against Corruption. I think that's it, right? Yeah. United Youth Alliance Against Corruption. You're welcome to Sunrise Daily.
Thank you.
First and foremost, I'll ask you, what's your interest in this NHIS matter?
Subversion of the rule of law. That's the first instance. Secondly, failure in the operational system. NHIS has failed, particularly during the period under review, which brought our interest in this current issue, talking about the tenure of Professor Yusuf. Though we also had an interest in his predecessor, because it has been a continuous process. Even before him, the case has been on with the predecessor.
So the rule of law, from your point of view, has been continually subverted,
yes,
by successive NHIS DGs?
Exactly.
Okay, so can you tell us in what way the rule of law has been subverted at the NHIS?
Basic procurement procedures are not being followed. When you talk about procurement, nothing tangible, nothing lawful there is being done, because there are too many instances. If I list them out, already we are in the court of law to tackle this.
How do you know that? When you say that basic rules of procurement are not being followed, what inclination did you have to that?
I think it's been there in the public. Right from the suspension, a committee was set up, and I think that committee brought out a report. Where is it? It should be brought to limelight for the world to also see. Let us judge it from what is. If it's wrong, then let's indict those people. You
say it's out there in the public, yet you say that this report has not been released, which is the truth, apart from snippets that people have been able to see on some online media, but the actual report has not been disclosed. But you seem to have an idea of what could be in the report in terms of what was found against the current DG of NHIS. Is that right?
Yeah, yes.
So what, in your mind, was the, or what are the allegations against the NHIS? What did they set up the investigative panel for?
Let me just give you a brief rundown about the man and the time he spent there and what transpired. Immediately he was appointed, he brought in some people on secondment. That was his first. That's where it all started. These particular people, because it's documented to the appropriate anti-corruption, they have been following it. ICPC, they are on it. EFCC, and we have been following it, we are interacting, they are on it. But of course, it's a sad development that the man was brought back in this manner, because the vice president must have seen some substance in those allegations before he gave his approval for the man's suspension. The minister, to setting up that panel, those members of those panels, they included various organizations. What was their input? We should have an inkling of what they brought out.
So you were talking about the allegations then. You talked about secondment. You said when he first of all came in, he brought
in some people on secondment and placed them in strategic locations.
Were those people originally in the civil service?
But not in NHIS.
Okay.
Okay. Let's dig in now to the content of the report as we know it today. The allegation right now is that the payment of approximately 919 million naira for the training of NHIS staff was fraudulent. And the allegation against the current Executive Secretary, Mr. Yusuf, is that 1,900 NHIS staff, almost 2,000, were trained at this cost. Then we found out that, of course, the NHIS staff roll, it does not surpass 1,300. So there was excess staff, and they were apparently paid fraudulent funds now into some accounts. Now, I want to ask you, you were the person who was behind the petition that was sent that the the vice president, who was acting president at the time, used to now establish this panel. Where were those facts coming from, and how did you establish that petition against the current executive secretary of the NHIS?
We have people who still care for the system, people who have taken it upon themselves to do justice, not just for themselves, but for generations later on. And these people, I think we should appreciate them. Even me, myself, I need appreciation coming out here because I know what I wrote, I know the facts I have, which I have presented to them, and I know what has transpired. Of course, it's been a long process. It's not something we should just, I respect the notion of them saying they won't go on air. It's good. But just like I said, the body is concerned with the investigation should hurry up and bring out a report.
You were pretty adamant, though, that this isn't just about the current executive secretary, that this is an institutional issue amongst the former heads of the NHIS. How much of what we're hearing now in terms of these allegations are limited to the administration of Mr. Yusuf, and how much of it predates his administration?
Just before each other, him and his predecessor, between two of them, that his predecessor, I think the report is out by, I think, AFCC or ICPC, one of them, the report is out, they should make it public. Those are one of
what were the allegations against his predecessor?
The same procurement, contract splitting, those types of excess payments, the improper payments, the manipulation of documents to suit a business concern, consent. So there were some subversions that went on just to benefit some people, as it was evident. And of course, just like I said, I appreciate very much people who, in one way or the other, are trying to make that system work because it needs to work. Even you pay to it.
Were you able to get Mr. Yusuf, did you write him a letter? Did you say we concerned youths are watching and we're very concerned about how you're running this system? Did you receive any response from him?
He wouldn't even acknowledge.
You wrote to him then?
Yes.
So he didn't acknowledge any of
our first letter, public letter concerning the man came out 21st of April 2017.
Sometime last year?
Yeah, so in April, that was the first letter we wrote out officially concerning this issue. We wrote it and appropriate. We have documented facts that have been acknowledged all around, and we followed it up. So really, they have been working, but we need them to work faster and bring out something for the public.
No, we know that there are some other, aside from the allegations of fraud in the alleged training of some NHIS staff, there were allegations of contracts being awarded to, media contracts being awarded to his brother to the tune of tens of millions of naira, and some other issues. Now, how much of what has come out was as a result of your investigations, and how much of it is, say, hearsay, for example? And when we talk about the authenticity of the report, because there's been pushback from the presidency that the reason why they've reinstated this man even before EFCC has cleared him of any wrongdoing is that they believe that there was some ill intention behind these allegations against the current ES of the NHIS. What are your thoughts about that?
I think it boils down to the presidency. They are the ones who wrote that letter. So there's something going on. So they should tell us what and what. They said some of those items were not, they were baseless. Let us get an inkling of, they should come out with a report